Welcome back on Marego TV. I am Nana Sue discussing now is rent control issues. What are your rent control issues? How do you even rent your house? If you want to rent a house, what are the procedures that you must go through? Are you doing the right thing? And also one our friend me pedaya high na agents number now I just say me major 10% say and when you say actually no, is that the right way? And I have Miss Gloria Ade Kote from the Lower Manya Municipal Assembly, the principal rent managers. I mean, everything come up and power. It's not coming home. Fraunia. Can you say you can equally join us on all our social media platforms? Just say you can join us through WhatsApp. You can join us through Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube. Marego TV is only the new stage with experience and great insight. Sit back and enjoy the show. Mohe Ojeko
Ojimra.
Hey, but when you Oje, that's the no, me and Gloria, I mean, you enjoy that. Hello, small back. Oh, don't mind you back. She know you be an Mohe. As part of the celebration of the Heritage Month, me humble 2 minutes. Look about we done with you. Okay, about we got you. You can be me as you are. What you want me? Shout out 2 minutes.
If I know you are done for this opportunity, and me done washi. I can't be to be here and then share. Hey, I can't be a Ghana. Minda, what chief rent manager, Mr. Chum Ampofoshi, Niji Wofe Wonupa, ye rent control Nichimonemi. Agbenele Hue, Biane acting rent commissioner, Mr. Frederick Opoku, Lehun Lebine, Miha Lehun, he ke afi, ye wo bijuanu you, ye match your name. Thank you.
Mana be lower manya be bafi bashi.
Pope ni chwe ni nkemnenge ni chumnge district assembly or municipal assembly nge lower menya. Ihanye chwe pe motuno nye kenyengeke. Kenyengeke. Okliboni panyamo. I'm learning. I'm doing well.
Yes. You've done really well. Yes, at least you spoke about 2-3 words out of it. In every situation, wherever you go, you'd like to at least learn about 3 of their languages.
That's true.
One is hey, welcome.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yes.
And then the greetings.
That's right.
So you've done well.
Thank you.
Gloria.
Yes, please.
What's up?
We are on it. The grace of God abounds for us.
Rent control.
Yes, please.
Rent control.
Yes.
Rent control. And one 7 But first, maybe what does your workload look like at rent control?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Rent control, we are a department that was set up since 1963.
Wow.
Yes, we've been in existence since 1963. That's before I was born. And so, and so even the act we are currently using is since 1963, for which reason we are advocating for an amendment of the act, because it's long overdue. 1963, you can imagine the transformation and then the evolution we have gone through as a nation from 1963 to now 2026. So per what we do, we help resolve and we help bring peace in homes and premises of accommodation and commercial as well. When we talk about rent control, people often think that, okay, so it has to do about residential premises only. But people also do rent other things, as plots, offices, shops, containers. People rent them as well. And they also come with issues that you cannot even imagine. So we do all that.
You do everything.
Yes,
if we're continuing, can you give us some of the issues that comes to your office?
Okay.
Often?
So we often get issues for this municipality in this Lower Menya, Yilo Krobo, and the Sojaman enclave. What often comes is rent arrears, payment of rent. So most of the complaints that come from the landlords are tenants' inability to pay rent. Now, per my observation in this municipality, I've come to realize that people who go for premises they cannot afford.
Oh.
So the person comes in, maybe first year, first 6 months, first month, or first 3 months rent, the person is able to pay. Then the subsequent ones, the person is unable to pay. Now, this has diverse causes. So, life comes with challenges. I have done cases whereby when the person was coming in initially, really the person could afford, but the person moves in. After a year or two, crisis hits, and you cannot afford it again. Now, the person also feels that, okay, moving out from where I am now to maybe a lesser property means that I'm losing value. So I want to maintain it, but you cannot afford it. I did a case for one man who was a supplier. So he used to supply rice and oil and all that. So the vehicle coming in had an accident, people died, he lost all the whole truck, he lost everything. And now he was in debt. He had an ailing wife. He had children who were younger. He was in a 4-bedroom apartment. Now this crisis hits, he cannot afford it. Because the debt on him, even when he comes, a very middle-aged man, he comes to the office and is crying. And I said, look, you can't continue here. Yes. Now things have changed. I can't say them red Dani and Dani B. Now what Dani? So I was always advising you now need either a chamber and hall or maybe a 2-bedroom. When you stabilize yourself, you are able to put everything together. Then you can move even whatever you want to. Also for our junior brothers and sisters, somebody is an apprentice and feels that now I'm going to learn a trade. So maybe my boss is going to give me some tips. And the person feels that that tips will be enough to pay a rent. He's 18, he's 19, and he's left the guard of his parents and has gone to rent. So maybe initially came in, it was 60 or 100 cedis. He's able to pay 1,200 for a year. Then going forward, he cannot afford it. Because how much tip will your boss give you for you to feed? And feed, some of them have girlfriends, for which reason they went to rent. So you cannot maintain this one. So most of the complaints are inability to pay rent.
Talking of rent, is that the only rooms and access stores so count? You can't rent, no person say rent no stores count, and a diner, a demo, sleeping places, and a rent control for a year home.
Like I said earlier, into store container assase in fact, be to me rent filling stations, People rent schools in this municipality, schools, some of the private schools. Nipa no wako rent and or the operating.
But rented diner, a school
diner. School premises ni na wa renting.
And no see diner and I say
you see diner. Yeah, see no wa be renting. And or the school. Yes.
Gloria.
Madam.
And I say, "Hasemno, eya na ye bloody
Yes.
sam." Okay, in this case, no, if you want to rent, what are the first steps you have to take as a tenant before you rent?
Thank you. So if you want to rent and you are a tenant, I advise that your first step is for you yourself to assess what you can afford. Don't go for a property you cannot afford. People are doing national service and you are going to rent a chamber and hall self-contained. You cannot afford it. So when you are going
not
to
pen na hoto.
upe wa hoto dia hwese wo bottom betumi support wa hoto na na.
Hwe wa sitinem.
That's right. Ti hwese wo bottom betumi afford wo ahoto na wo pa na. So make sure that what you are going to rent you can afford it. Two, afi nso hwese adenti na mekọ akọ rent. Now to say make a national service ebia me be national service e wo Marego ha e na mekọ akọ rent. E say wo hwese okay nti mekọ rent no. Do I need a place close? Marego from bema me car and me bebe ejuma. You have to check all that. Now ebia wo renting for a commercial business ebia wo be ejuma. Obi wo ho akọ renting dia pam ade. Okwa renting no okọ renting wie ya nsa na waka say oh sa na ha no nkrofo bebre pamade wo ha ti me de no kra nkrofo mba o se a mean to me ent na hobio so e be wa be renting asase e na wa ye container esisu wo ba ye 6 months 1 year wo se wont na biom se wa wura ne loss because container na ye be ye si so no say ye two container minimum bi we two ni container the container has lost its value say aye ketwa na se me hunam say oh ma wo boka o. For about 5 years, me too. I did for about 5 years. Was say, madam, say I was say over Buchi, I find say obe humu, and pass obe about. Say, oh yeah. So yourself, no stress. See, baby, our bet na nini odi ba be no. Will it be profitable? Is it feasible? Say your commercial, say mobile be establishing station. What I say, there are a lot of things that come to consideration. And I'm the into current here. I say when you na we share answer na wa kwa current. And yes, I won't ya home for so. I feel soon baby our current no fear no. And our property owner no. I say only no court terms and agreement. I say won't be sad what the conditions are. What the terms and conditions are. Now also won't share see a be profit one obi wo hwa bia wa rent efie e wo residential area onu so se bi bia o yusu abobo ya na keke we echina we be ka si keke no ma da na wo tu no 5 o'clock I'm unable. These are the complaints that come with way I'm relating to real life issues nti we say na fear wo tenant we dey o ma yenda o tu keke na yen to me nda o spark ni motor na yen to me nda so all these things I say won share see maybe o bet na obi wo ho ye taxi driver wa beji obi fie nipa na ma wati ase say gate na da fie ya no e bia by 12 midnight dey obi amba inside na yentum for ye nyina security wusu kwa night into winning other tenants sefira anti hokra and even neighbors kra de bia asembeba mo ntem ti wo ko renti as e ya na tenants person mo bi say okay into no what are my rights but you also have a responsibility wo di wo sika na kwa renti you have to ensure that you are getting value for what you are renting ye kwa ye rent act no more. It does not even give specifications of premises. They say, "Be a mekoji dino." As I say, NSA. So I always tell people that I'm sure that 1963 no mu year ran by then. They also felt that when I obeshe, baby obetumi atina. Say I can say obi dine wa renti a remote control door, ni remote control window. That's what the person can afford. Obi nso de a small door ono so eno no betumi afford no wakwaji. Ti wo so kwaji a share specification doesn't meet what I want. Obi wo ho ye bema o share onto me mpra into opefie a yem premu. So obekwa kwaji fie a yem premu. Obi wo ho kwaji dan you say I remember case be a lady no say o was spinal issue. Ti yesi mani embeni nam say good fear na ji wo pe wasem mami u buy oni muti fon so oni miti fine all right now who would dia obeye ni say either ubepo obi ni na bedroom so I was even a compound house in 2 months a bedroom so 1 week pe so what can mean to me proud even the other people you are living with they will not be pleased with you I say ye koye adwuma ni e ba baby e dey etibetu no I say nye peaceful we should have peaceful rest na sorry anopa ya koye adwuma so e wa ahondem mu ene anije mu na ya productive in the nation
There's a name who drop every we have to look through and steps we ought to take before renting a place. Let's come to the landlord and ask lady.
Landlord ni landlady so wo onu so wo niama bebre onu so wo si onye. Now ye mra no kire se wo pese wo rent wo property bia wo beba rent control. Na ye ko na ya kwako assessing what you want to rent no. Na ya ma wo certificate of assessed rent. Certificate of assessed rent no kire se premises we monthly rent say na wo say property no wo fa en rent enu na ye first say fiera bia wo say wonye na ye ma certificate of assessed rent no so a mra no say every 2 years renewable every 2 years so beba no abe renew ye be san yakọ na yakọ premises no say see education ko enim no advantage ankrofo person o mo fa ni say wuti ho na wa frɛ o madam mi wo cheban ho wo ha ni ha cheban ho ye di mahi mint na office enkyerɛ wo say cheban ho ye di ma say because cheban ho gumu ahodo ti mint na office en bo ma wo say cheban ho ye say wo ba Uni me be coffee ho.
And we are agent ana.
Na makwa hwe. Na ma ya mama o certificate say okay. Me be hwe ye consider say ni no such a property. Say a commercial residential say ni say amount na was say enko. Afi nso no wo property owner no. Mra no say wo rent here say wo ma every tenant rent card. Rent card, no baby, a rent control office will be across the nation. You get a copy. It comes in a pair, so that landlord or landlady or property owner gets a copy. The tenant keeps a copy. So anytime you have a year, Juma pa.
Oh yes, sure.
Juma pa. Now most of the time, na you almost say omobejia, bia, imrano befa kwa bisu. Now you want scape so people want to run away from it. But we are intensifying our education on it. Very soon we'll have task force going to homes and properties. And you will find yourself wanting, if you have rented out and within 7 days you haven't given the tenant a rent card, because the section 20 of the act mandates every landlord or landlady or a property owner to issue rent card to tenants. So we a fear ekaho. Also we a fear so as I say we sign receipts na we tenancy agreement. Agreement ye terms and conditions are tenant na oba no obedisu ni wu fear so obedisu. Now answer na nipa no you rent out the property no, the person should know what the rules and the regulations are in this property. Now one answer. Now you say that okay, in this house you cannot do this. Okay, in this house we cannot do this. You see, in some of our traditional communities, we have some homes our friend or say a ti fie kese bi wo ho niam bi wo ho a yenye nipa na ba nso woni na anka wa betina mu ewie afide wo ba be ka che ni se ofie ha yenye se yenye se recently me a case bi ye se fie kese ti fie kese no yem pam hwe you don't pound anything
ye wo abe
wo ho woman ni so abeji woti mu 1 month 2 months na market day Wednesday wa bam agomenya market oba ye no wa beto fufu so some of these things are necessary tenant to okay fear say ni now fear and also no sometimes they should know that some of the things when tenant car there are some things you don't need to be told. They say what current will be there. Was one can't tell say it's your light bill and water bill. Oh,
can you imagine? I can't know.
You see, I can't train. What bazum lion bin si ho or the trash gumu or say I can't train say obetua. So Zoom lion every month
so
they
all
bill
those complaints come to you.
Yes, all these complaints come day in there every day. Petty ones will tell you, I make one say, one. Obviously, I can't tell you, say, you're proud fear. So, baby, son, say, oh, buy ye na, fear na, ye need to know. Fear na, no, see one, no, ye need to know. So, these are some of the things. Anka, ye na, ni penny na, yet, ye one, say, Anka will not have issues. Because so be to me, sometimes they even come and say, a rubber. To buy a few way, we shall feel we am premu, yet to mukeke. Obi, wa beji, was here, Jaria, me, nim say, to cheer, Jaria. To be self-contained, to meet them no your first tenant too. After 1 year, 2 years, when the person vacates and you go and look at the property, you weep for the landlord. Because the cost of damage that people live in a self-contained, they never clean sinks 1 year, 2 years. They never clean bathrooms 1 year, 2 years. And you go and see the level of debt the person has left. You sometimes even have to change the whole tiling. After them, you can imagine all that. So as a landlord, you have to be responsible. You have to let the tenant know that these are some of the things that are done here. Because sometimes, like I'm saying, I don't know how people feel that I'm not told that you don't sweep. No, now there are some of the rules that are, let's say, a little bit extreme. Like a case I did one afternoon. I was there when the landlady, a grown woman, so she came in with a very young lady of about 20, 21 years. She said that, Madam, lady baye, ene, we neba, anopa, we neba ko, bema we neba ko, mean to me. The lady was laughing. I was wondering, Momo and go for Mubedu, I would say, what's the issue? Madam, Baba Jino, Mibisa and say, Grandma, Mrabe Newaha, and a grandma say, Nihawa, and say, Mepra, Niha, and say, Metri, Dare, Timisumi, no, Timini problem, Grandma, Grandma say, hey, to show me, I mean, yeah, Grandma, who frame me, Grandma, no, who bet the bet me if you want not the memo way, bow the way, by met to me atana, or say, say, one can't say, no, so come. So in fact, that afternoon, they actually came in because she had received a meal visitor. And her grandma had displayed an air heater. So the gentleman left and I'm saying, where's your company, and the young barry, and I'm in a full coffee, so many, and I'm by. So Mube do and I'm say, okay, to see a Benny there, and her grandma see you, who's won't worry, and now you're a young lady. You can bring me one guy, still wait there, my boyfriend, na me Jen. Or say there be having on way to I feel not all share. One guy.
And then, oh yeah, excuse me. Or the year business, and I say,
Grandma was saying if you had the over shower high behind.
And I was saying,
and she was willing to go.
Really?
Yes, she was willing to go. She want to me and Nana won't say you are restricting her that much. So we say no.
Has she thought of herself?
Yes. Say,
has she thought of the consequences?
Grandma say they be there.
The health wise.
And they be there, and there. And they are saying health wise. So most of the young ladies, they move in with their boyfriend, girlfriend, send a make an apprentice where or yeah, you may be or you may be wakwaji 1 year be or more. I'll feed there some few man or say mean to me no one to never be more on so on to me on also see a miss my coming my muse me free fee. If I return here and Jimmy, so then I heated. The grandma feel her boyfriend and girlfriend or mobile peacefully now I talk grandma and so on to me and now then they have to rush to the office to be assisted.
Esem no eyado so Gloria Enchaso yemra Goro boys and am from agents omo so no omo dwuma no it is because ebi wo ho no ma obe posti upedan wa answer no do obe kọ baby aba ko hwedan no kra no o sika obeje o just sika ni wi a dan no se ba ne se obetimi rent ya is it 10%? What percentage you ought to pay to the agent? To be required, the sika no cry say 2 years now renting. Now say Danny 100 cities a month. Calculate sasa no beji emu be 2,000 efrimo. And also no eka emrane hoana.
Yo, unfortunately, it's because as a nation no, you need sa database. And na Emma Munya who quine and no multimedia said Jumano. If we had a database of available premises to rent, say Uncle Bia and you BH say be my answer.
Okay.
But because we don't have that, they take the advantage. And I fear a bisu or nene pana I said Jumanache. Into an in okay, wa me fear ni they just a walk up obi brand new. So even somebody walks in our vacant room, say many baby out, this is our agents no di enim and a neba. Now since here no anka we agent you have to be registered with the department.
Oh, okay.
They say ye nimu. Na ye nim adwuma wo ye. Now wo so wonye obi a ebia obi the premises bi ma okra. They say ye nkwohwe na yenye sa access rent no certificate no e masa afira no na mungina so na mumfa rent But because we are unable to have all this database, you know, say no more omu no more omu omu juma obi say na wo ka tembe ebi mo you say 20%, obi so say 20 is because omu anka say you say my adwuma bi ama nti wo so ma. And then the people also sometimes you are in a dying need, so they succumb. Oh, okay. Would they say what why you say only no cause if free hair koha me lawyer fair you say oh ube say ni say and I'm taking advantage and I'm di yeah. But say here with the amendments coming and all that, you know, say the money now will be properly regulated, so they will not get that advantage to capitalize on the prospective tenants.
Okay, me question be the chef be they are buying their band, but say if I rent a house or a room and I want to evacuate, and as I have rented the place, and I come say my time is due for me to move out, it be another that moment, you know, I've not gotten of secure a place yet. How many months am I supposed to live in the house before I finally leave?
Thank you. So to answer that, I'll start with saying that there's no free rent.
Okay.
So you will not get any free rent.
3 months. 3
months in now so bet you aka. Now what happens with the 3 months often? Because ABA over one proper tenancy agreement. Some proper tenancy agreement. One of your conditions might be say, okay, maybe 3 months and say na umre let's negotiate what will happen time umre so. So before the expiry of your agreement, you have to negotiate what will happen after the expiry of the agreement. So every agreement has a commencement date and an expiry date. So when it's expiring, no, before a be expire, no, na mo komo. So you know what will happen after. Let's say if you am na approaching me, but me am a be renting. Say me wo lower menye, ni be ya transfer me e ko sunyani. Into me fear, what do I have to do? I have to inform my landlady. See, okay, me rent best 1st August. So you are transferring me this much to Sunyani. You are me 2 months to relocate to Sunyani. So after I make question Sunyani apedine. So could you give me this period? Say I will rent till 1st August. So to my main share, say na abekono. You do that negotiation. So no see a fear. School and now the baby or what issue be about the ban has to come to the premises. No one tonight say, oh, as Messi, we rent best 1st May. They say I will match more. Say we rent to soon. I mean to me renting man will be more because me bay ne baby or what ya tuno and now me ban baby or one no so a human in a back room into a bed or better not dynamo until from now to 1st May no. Minfa and high obium. Today, I say, we fear and now bow in Kaya at one. You have to start looking for a place. Now, let's say that today is 5th March. I have started looking for a place. By 1st May, I haven't gotten a place yet. What do? I have to negotiate with the landlady or landlord. All right, you informed me before time, but I went looking for a place. I haven't found a place. So I need an additional 1 month, additional 2 months, additional 3 months to get a place. It doesn't mean that that additional period given you is free. Oh, there's really? No free rent in somebody's property. So whatever period, sometimes we hear some of the cases, and even the person deserves a year in the property, we can give you 1 year to look for a place and go. You can be given 6 months. You can be given 3 months. You can be given 5. Depending, every case comes and they are peculiar. You understand? So sometimes when I'm asked this question, it's difficult giving an outright answer because people capitalize on our responses and they make it look like it's my right, it's my right, it's my right. But your right always comes with a responsibility. So though you have a right to be given time, you're a human being. You cannot be parked out on the street. You know, when you are leaving one premises, you are parking out of one premises to another premises. So you deserve that time to look for a place. So it's mandatory for the landlady or landlord to engage you before the expiry. Even if you engage before and the time is due, and for 1 or 2 constraints you're unable to, it doesn't mean that you be parked outside. It only means that you negotiate, you plead, you are given some time more, which is not free. I did one case somewhere last year. So actually when they were coming in, it was uncompleted, so they helped the landlord complete the premises. So now that they were leaving, they said they had financial constraint, so they wanted 6 months. Even the landlord was glad to say that, okay, if you want 6 months, I'll give you 6 months to look for a place and prepare and go. So they were given the 6 months. The 6 months was due December 31st. In December, the woman went to the hospital and she needed a surgery. So they quickly approached the landlord that, okay, the wife is going for a surgery, so they cannot leave by the end of December. And because of the cordial relationship they have established with the landlord, he even came with the husband. So the woman was at an admission when the husband came with the landlord to the office that, okay, look, we cannot honor 31st December. My wife just went through a surgery, a major surgery, and she cannot go. So we want, and it was very peaceful.
Okay.
So there's no free rent. You don't go demanding. People make it look like it's their right. Okay, you are asking me to go. Give me 3 months, and I have to leave 3 months free. No.
Yamra landlords, so that on a property, let's put it property owners. Property owner 02, Umra 22. A property owner 2, Obefi Juma, but no property owner no, where boo puneni, where you name a guabontem. When the property owner be a O2 nipa na want to know. Nipa ne fie adwuma no afford chance no. Ako 2 roofing sheets no. Every a diner pump.
Enu die.
All right.
Enu die a crime po. It's against the law. We are a crime. Enu die abain enu ubedi. And when those cases come, enu po die right from our office we just refer to the police because it's a criminal act you have committed. So the criminal courts will deal with you.
Gloria, let's come to the 6-month rent advance. Is it working?
Yes, it's working. In some places, it's working. Even people are taking.
In places like.
Even in this lower Menya Kroboy,
okay.
If people do take even monthly rent, not even the 6 months, they take 1 month, 1 month.
Areas, no.
Yeah.
And if you had much,
yes.
I know what sort of building?
Nice premises, fine places. People do
like
now.
Chamber and hall,
in compound houses, single rooms in compound houses. In now na fear for no say or 6 months our boka. Sika ahin every man, let's say 100 cedis a month. What a man no 6 months, one man no 600 cedis. To no or the 600 bedding. Until sometimes they want to go further and take a year or two. So no more if it's advantageous for them, the landlords, and even the tenant too, advantageous for both parties. Now for the landlord, advantageous because the person come in most of the time, you don't even know the persons. And these are enclave, people rent out and they don't even know the name of the tenants they have rented out to.
Oh, really?
And your boss is say, or you don't neighbor can be a say. BAG chairman. Mommy be Mr. Mommy, what's it? A BAG chairman. What's it chairman? So that's when to a chairman or then a BAG chairman. A BAG said, Madam, a BAG nurse.
Ebi anani pani e nurse.
Ebi anani pani e nurse. Intino, what you have to do is say unipa na eba na wunnim no. Oba betina. Sometimes I even tell landlord it's hard to say, but I always tell them that even the people who give you the 3, 4, 5 years, they're the people who gives you the most issues and the most problems. Sometimes, not always.
What's that you actually done if you're rare?
Na bisa people na oba so wa ma obebre nti so anim so wo bebre tena wa fie ho ti obetena ansa na obehu so wo nipa na eba na eye monthly na eye 6 months no na even 1 year wo da kra wo da how many days na 1 year so 1 year encheba o nti 1 year po encheba na waje 6 months eno po de enche nti nipa ne ba na wo hu say no because people even come to premises, landlords and landladies, they don't even know the work they are doing. Oni say na make no so yes say no ehin na yes say no wopra onim. So people come so a teacher ko bisa no so kire ade wo hi okobisa ni we are okay yenko you get to the school they don't have anybody yet teacher say wo nyina line kra hu de no.
International say it is the property owner's responsibility to have the identity of their tenants.
So when you don't
mean
do that,
say we rent there was say we do be bob best say ya na.
into your rent card no ma will say fear and say tenant no on no emergency contact name and phone number. When you say go for high for dining yama ena or sorry sebi obi to me sorry no kwa no wabeji o stroke achino. Who are you going to call
them?
So when they come to the office, fear and tenants now no more now. Sometimes will be fret, pona who see what me say or yeah, nobody comes. So do you know that nobody coming in back could be the tenant and the landlady had to take care of him for over 2 years. Or no, I do baby no. Or say, madam, my end was now I can't. You need me share car, muko do poma. Amu the mama miss me. I met me at to so I come room. Everybody calls no see oh me yari obimbra nobody comes. Into no, I was say we fear no. Into who just are shorter tenant. So we are back to the question of the 6 months. No, wow. Nipa no be ye na who say ejuma oye nie no ejuma we di oti me fie ha me hu entomi. Me juma o say ni say oye mra say ni say o si onto me empra o si onto me entwitwi adware edi kasa beba emfa asobdue emba fie ho a ene say ni 6 man ni ansa na besu papa wo ba ye say ha ye pra wo say wonto me empra mpa cho you and they say wo 6 months so a na wo kwakoji baby a ye empra wo ho nti fear no eboa wo now with the tenant no so reduce wo burden no. If you are paying a monthly rent or you are paying 6 months rent, it will not be as much as looking for a cumulative amount for a year or 2 years rent. So it's beneficial for both parties. Me can see fear of one crown and boy one can say because most of the time the person come unimo or better you answer no matter how gentle, how soft the person comes in or better we answer no say hey I see me say nothing.
And only answer because na baby house or say or yes so for we police be fear name a good them no na say and okay Gloria bet you na a man for so e comment about be nsembisa na ya kind their mom Mr. Ni also those rent things if you sika I was very interested to know then Ochini Kechire Kwame answer I say, good morning, Marego TV. Please, at what point does the landlord or landlady has the right over social amenities in the house? Kindly educate us on tenant rights according to the rent control department.
Okay. Now, he's asking to what extent the landlord has...
Because Otua also say, I know one landlord that locks up water tap just because I passed by him with motor on my way to the house.
Oh, yeah. So the tap was locked. Yes. So what happens is, if you are in a shared property where you are about 2 or 3 people living together, and then you have these amenities, you, the tenant, you have every right of access to them. Now, what happens is sometimes, you see, when they ask these questions, you don't even know what happened. You say, I say, I bypassed my landlord with a motor. Now, sometimes, no, the fact that you have access to them does not mean that you abuse them. When him obitifie pipe wo fie ho ne boy 2 years to me could be a pipe no ne egu form.
Baby.
If you are no one so after the water bill ba na e bia ekọ enima e na fear ade wo fie ha leakages wo ha ade na water bill no bo ede obi wo ho the way they abuse some of them inti among them so sometimes any fear and born lock you do you know even a co-tenant to be lucky against the colleague tenant because of say na e bia wo ye ade no emboa ye nyina so you have access to it but you also have responsibility to steward it to watch over it to keep it well na munyina ehwo abamfaso ama obi wo ba akwada okọ washroom a do bi si twem na wachi ebusha na o si miniska ya DCSE o so wonim say oba no you were supposed to akwada onyi okọ washroom so obi be ka ne ho na wa hwe no na ayefe so obi a wenyi obetumi a use properly there no problem so obi a motivate share property wo de oba okọ anu wakọ flashing blind okọ flashing ebu a ube repair ye no
your property owners, I say the place is for rent, but it's uncompleted.
Okay.
Or you 2 years rent, then you need a place. You go and pay. I was so audited to after 6 months, 8 months, or say I no cry me rent you. Femisika mamia na da no twe mama ntwe eno so
thank you and no dear I personally advise that people don't go into those kind of contracts. Say sika ye ni bri o sika ye ni bri now like you are saying you no oye no to me nyan wie wo a wo di wo sika ba be shepo ewie na afi de na ni bri unim say bi mo ho afira no wo ba no sa uncompleted na wo ba be ye no complete no ono ti uncompleted no e bi a boys quarters sa afi de wo be ye the main house na ye akono no e ne say neighbors three no wo ye property wo na wo boys quarters e na ne oba be ye